I don't have quite the words and experience to explain what PFLAG does and
Sure.
the wonderful things you do. Would you like to kind of just give an introduction of what PFLAG is to our audience? Because
Yes.
I'm sure they're going to appreciate it.
Totally, the spiel. I can give the spiel.
Give the spiel.
So Greater Boston PFLAG is a part of a national organization which is called PFLAG, which is really a family and parent-focused organization. It started in New York City years and years ago by one parent who wanted to support her gay son, particularly during the AIDS epidemic, or back when the AIDS epidemic in the 80s was as high profile as it was. And so essentially what happened after that was, state after state started starting its own chapter for parents, and then eventually Boston did. And over the years, Boston has grown to actually have a staff. And so the organization, while sort of coming from a foundation of supporting parents and families, we're fortunate enough to do a lot of work to support communities above and beyond supporting families. So as an organization, in terms of the programming we do several. So one of the biggest one is our support groups. We have support groups for anyone. We have 18 within 495 towards Boston. Some of them are for anyone to go to, but mostly parents go to them, parents and caregivers. And then we have some specifically for parents of transgender folks, which has been really powerful, both in terms of a place of pride for us, but also the kinds of stories you hear from parents who are coming into those support groups for the first time. It's really powerful. We also have a helpline for parents and caregivers to call, and within 24 hours they get a call back from mostly other parents. We have some grandparents, but really those folks are just there to hear and listen. A lot of folks call when their child first comes out, because that's a vulnerable time.
How do they, when they reach out to you, how are they finding you? I mean, are they just doing their own detailed research and going through it to find it, or how are they doing this?
I'm pretty sure it's Google. It's probably the Google. I think it could also, oftentimes it's word of mouth, right? So, one person's out in school as trans or maybe, out as lesbian in the school, and then their parent knows about that person, their child comes out, and then they might talk to another parent. So a lot of parents talking to one another, especially in communities, I think of word of mouth. But most days, most things now, I think, are the internet. Folks Google, parent of gay or parent of transgender, and PFLAG comes right up. So we're really fortunate in that way, because that's the thing that we do really well.
You definitely do very well with working with the youth. I mean, I know that the program that we delivered at my school system, somehow or another, we managed to do 4 episodes to our teachers, to my coworkers, in 45-minute blogs, and the feedback was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
The people that were touched by it will never know, because I've had people come up to say, I've got a transgender kid in my classroom. I now know what to do. Thank you.
Yeah.
And who knows now what that little kid, having that support, is going to do in the future.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have any idea.
Yeah, it's amazing. And that model that we used at your school was particularly powerful, I think, for 2 reasons. One is we totally catered it to what the school could do. The school said they could do 6 45-minute blocks, and that's all they could give us. And we packed an hour-and-a-half long training on supporting and engaging trans students in schools into 45 minutes, which was a challenge for us. But
I'm sure.
There's no way to say no when someone calls and asks for help. So, but to be totally honest, I think the real power in those opportunities were you and your coworkers' stories. Those I think. Even seeing people go up to you afterwards, it was very clear that, the power of story is so much of what changes hearts and minds. When people hear so much from the media and from, politics and everything about particularly trans folks, they carry all of these stereotypes and all of this weight and BS, frankly, where it gets to the point where hearing a personal story, I find, can, melt away a lot of preconceived notions about people. Faster than any article in a newspaper, because it's someone you work with. It's someone you're...
And now you know someone that's transgender.
Right.
And my guess is that everybody at this point probably knows somebody that's transgender, whether that person has told them they're transgender or not.
Right.
I'm beginning to learn that I'm not alone. You know, even down in Tennessee before I moved up here,
Yeah.
I wasn't within the community because there weren't any large organizations that truly I felt could understand the transgender community. And then I come up here and I fall into several organizations, including PFLAG. They're just doing all of these wonderful things all over the place. And the fact that y'all just keep persevering with it, because it can't be all positive. I mean, there has to be times when there is a school that says, no, we don't want you here. So there has to be some kickback to it, but the perseverance of PFLAG to be in existence for as long as it has.
Yeah. We have that helpline I was talking about. We have the support groups, and then we also have a one-to-one program. So the one-to-one program is someone usually calls our helpline or emails us looking for support, a parent or a caregiver. And when I say caregiver, what I mean is, not everyone is, with their biological parent, particularly LGBTQ folks who go into foster care systems or, are homeless and then, find any place they can go. So caregiver is really anyone caring for an LGBTQ person. And so our one-to-one program is that essentially you kind of get a support advocate person on the other line of a phone, or you meet in a public place, and it's a person who has a child who identifies similarly to this particular parent, and you can talk through some of the experiences. And what's been really powerful for us in that particular program is helping parents navigate the healthcare system with other parents of trans folks,
wow.
because it's a murky, not great territory in terms of even here in Massachusetts. So other programs we have and how we sort of got to start working together is our Safe Schools and Communities program, where we'll go to schools, businesses, corporations, and do a lot of different kinds of work. We do a lot of trainings on supporting and engaging trans folks, ally trainings. We'll do a bystander training, which is where we sort of support people in learning how to use language and sort of stand up against anti-LGBTQ language. And then for corporations, we'll do, we'll help build their affinity group. A lot of corporations have LGBTQ groups within the corporation, so we can help build them and plan out the year and things like that. That's been really powerful for us. We're also we're starting to look into how to support some of the work around getting comprehensive sex ed in schools.